Welcome to Digital Domino, episode 2 of our podcast. I'm Juliana, and I'm here with Mathew Franek from Texas Ranch Kings Realty. Thank you, Mathew, for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. Glad to be here.
Great. Well, let's get started. I really was hoping you could tell us really about the story behind Texas Ranch Kings and who y'all are.
Well, first of all, there's three of us, three partners. That we were all formerly in another brokerage, and we just decided we could do it. We thought better. So here we are, and we're at 2 years removed from launch, and things are going great. And even with a softer market the last year or two, we've done really well, and I foresee that the future is very bright thanks to you guys.
All right, Mathew. Talk to me and explain to me a little bit about what really makes Texas Ranch Kings Realty different from other ranch brokerages.
Well, I think this right here that we're doing is proof is the pudding, right? You have a situation where most brokerages still are living strictly on the MLS.
Yeah.
Maybe they also get on another listing platform, but that's about the extent of their marketing. They're not looking for buyers. They're not seeking out listings around the state with different types of for different types of buyers, different types of listings. And thankfully that we have you guys, we can create an ad that will perform best for a specific property.
Yeah.
We don't have any, as you well know, we don't really take a generic approach towards this at all. Every property, I'll specifically say, I want this property pushed this way.
I can definitely testify to that. You don't have just one generic ad that, call us about properties or call us about all your properties. We specifically run ads per property.
Right.
And not all properties are advertised at the same time. So we're not exhausting your audience. But yeah, I definitely think that is a true statement that makes you different.
Yeah, and it is, because we've all of us at our current agency here at Texas Ranch Kings, we've all been at different brokerages. So we know what most other brokerages are doing.
Yeah.
And I can assure you that we're doing more, which is great for us, but even better for our clientele.
Yeah, big. Go big or go home.
There you go. And when you talk about the different types of brokerages that are available to a buyer, you want to pick someone who is an expert in their field. And, I'm not saying that someone that sells a residential home can also sell a ranch or vice versa. But generally speaking, you can point out those who don't have the experience pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And a ranchette is on that fence. It's kind of what's bridging the gap between residential and ranch, right? So I tend to call a ranchette like probably anything under 50 acres is what I would consider a ranchette.
That's a good scale. I didn't know. I thought it was just a style of architecture. And I think a main advantage just from doing y'all's marketing is that a lot of your team lived on a ranch, grew up on a ranch, worked a ranch. So they're not just selling ranches. I think that's part of what Texas Ranch Kings is that y'all really know ranches.
Yes, no doubt. Actually, I'm probably the least ranchy, if you will, of the group. I grew up out in the country and hunting, fishing, and all that sort of stuff, but I didn't grow up on a large ranch. My one partner in particular, Tully Jansen, he's really a real deal cowboy. I mean, that's all it's to it. You've seen the proof. And a lot of our clientele appreciate that. And it's a gain for the buyer to have someone that understands not only the land, but the business aspect to it.
For sure.
Because there's a lot of consideration that goes into that. We have guys, Scott and Gavin, who are exotics experts. Becca, who just joined our team, she's an exotics expert. Any of these breeding operations, these guys are very familiar with. They know herd counts and surveys and how to buy and sell. And so when I talk about someone that grew up on a ranch and knows that lifestyle, there's a win for that buyer. Then you've got folks like me. Maybe I'm the guy for you if you need a 50-acre ranch or a 100-acre boutique ranch in Fredericksburg.
Right.
Maybe you don't need a working cattle ranch. Maybe you're not a big hunter. So there's just it's no different than the guy looking for a 3-bedroom house and a 6-bedroom house.
Right.
there are different realtors for those markets.
Maybe your wife just wants to homestead, right?
That's exactly right. That's all my wife wants to do. Get her one of those little mini Highland,
those mini cows,
and she's happy.
Yeah. Did you have any misconceptions about digital marketing, social media before coming on board with us?
I don't know if misconceptions is the right word, but I'm not educated enough to do it by myself. I was smart enough to know that. I needed assistance. And there were days back years ago that you could get on Facebook and make a little ad and get away with it. But now with the competition, you just can't.
Yeah.
So I was blessed enough to have found you guys, and I mean that. Really for this the banner. We're able to chat. We get along well. You have been with us long enough that, I almost don't have to say anything. You can look at an ad that Cole created and go, Matt's going to like this or not.
Yeah.
And I feel confident in that. And that's working together for over 2 years now. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And I think it's important when you're hiring folks, and this is kind of goes to the nuts and bolts of all this, whether it's my clientele or your clientele, you have to develop a rapport. Mm-hmm. And I think the agent, as it were, you or myself, it's not learned. It's natural. And some folks get along better with others, and that's fine. And that's why it's great to have a team around you so that you can go, hey, I think you'll identify with this person over here better. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the best I could tell you on that. Yeah.
Well, even though I don't know a lot about ranches, it's definitely been one of my favorite accounts because I was lucky enough to be here when we started it from the beginning, like from the scratch. I remember pressing, publish on the first ad, starting to see the followers come in, launching from your social deck. So a lot of the times we get clients where we have to pick up where they left off or fix what they just did. So whenever you have an opportunity to work with any business from the beginning, I think it makes a big difference for us, and it definitely empowers us because it becomes a part of our portfolio, seeing it grow. So that's great on you for starting from the beginning and recognizing that you needed help, especially because I wouldn't say that ranching, selling ranches, anything country goes hand in hand with social media, but people love to see it.
Yes, they do.
Some of our most successful campaigns or posts have been just one that I can think of. Anything, or the only thing better than buying a ranch is growing up on one, or that type of sentiment resonates with people that want a ranch or that have grown up on one or that love having one. So being able to put that in a digital format, I think has been really fun for us.
Yes. Y'all have definitely created some beautiful content for sure.
How has marketing played a role in growing Texas Ranch Kings?
Well, the prime example is last week I got a call from an agent who went on a listing appointment strictly because they had seen our ads.
Great.
Yeah. And that's becoming more prevalent as our marketing extends and our the followers on our webpage grow and all these things. And we're reaching, and the creepy crawler fingers get out. And eventually they reach enough people, right?
Yeah.
And we're starting to feel that. And so when my agent told me that he was approached at a shoot. He was doing a skeet shoot competition. They came up to him and said they had seen the Ranch King ads and they wanted to talk to him about a property that they want to list. So
I remember you telling me about 1 month getting like over $20 million in sales, right? How did that come about? Or tell me about that month.
Yeah, well, we've had a few months like that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it is, and it's a lot, and it's a number that sometimes can scare people off.
Yeah.
It's easy to hit that number when you're selling a $12 million ranch.
That's a good point. Very valid.
But in this particular case, and even in the last month or two, it's been a group effort with a lot of smaller sales that have added up. Hey, everybody loves a big sale, right? That's what we are in business for.
Yeah.
But the purchase is the $500,000 or $1 million sale. That's really the one that keeps the gas in the tank. The other ones are nice, and you get to jump for joy for a couple of days, and then you just go right, to the grindstone again, and hopefully churn out another $1 million sale, right?
Yeah.
So they can't all be that big, but I also feel like there is a culmination of our agents' growth with the marketing that you guys have been helping us with that culminated to this couple of great quarters.
So you think months that are that good, do you think they come from a combination of a few big ranches and some little ranches and then just marketing and overall effort?
Yes. So we may only have, between the entire organization, we may have 7 or 8 sales a month.
Right.
Between 8 agents.
Right.
Or sometimes less. And of that 7, we may have 4 of them that are, $250,000 to $500,000 in sales. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have 1 or 2 that are $1 million, $1.5 million. And you may have 1 that's $5 million.
Yeah.
Makes for a really nice month.
It makes for a really nice month.
Yeah. And so, it's like Grandpa always said, pick up every penny, right?
Right.
It adds up over time. So.
Yeah. Especially when you compare it to your ad budget.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's a good comparison.
For sure.
Would you say there's any challenges in marketing your higher end properties versus your smaller ranches?
Yes. Short answer is yes. I would say that after you've cleared about $3 million, your buyer pool drops very quickly. I mean, there's not a whole lot of folks that can afford, a $5-6 million ranch as a second home.
Right.
Most likely, in most cases. Totally different buyer, different experience for everybody involved. One of my favorite things to do is to help a family that's never purchased property before purchase it. I mean, it's incredible. Yeah. I can only imagine from a residential agent perspective, people buy a home. It's the biggest purchase they'll ever make.
First time home buyer, right?
Right. It's a great experience, and it's got to be enjoyable to see
over
the smile on their face, right? Well, so a lot of our clients, maybe they're not first time home buyers, but they're first time ranch buyers.
Yeah. And
they're as happy.
I would think that, especially if it's their first time buying a ranch and they're one of those people that didn't grow up on a ranch, it's definitely like a stepping stone for them to acquire that ranch or to be able to get their dream ranch. So that has to be a great feeling to help provide that as well.
It does. And to see the kids' faces and the grandparents, and we're fortunate enough in this business that a lot of times we make friends with our clients.
Yeah.
And, you get invited to their family functions or come over to the ranch for the first big weekend, and we're going to have all our friends and family out. And it's a great experience to be part of that, to have navigated that search for them and to help them make the right decision, both for them personally and for the family, but also financially.
Yeah.
Sometimes folks can do more than they think. Sometimes they can do less than they think. There's an education there that they usually get during the buying process that we help navigate for them. And then when it becomes clearer what that looks like to them in real world terms, then we can focus on the exact property that they're looking for. So,
Mathew, to be frank, some of the challenges on social media with your ads is just getting the ad in front of the right people, right? It's, can we get this ad in front of somebody who could afford this property? Or maybe I'm reaching people who could afford this property, but they have no interest in like buying a ranch or owning land. So some of the challenges have been, how do I place the ad in front of the right people? And I found that the best thing we've been able to do is buy these location listening lists for you. So some of those lists have been certain feed stores, college stadiums, where because you've told me, this is where my client is at. This is where they go to school. This is where their kids go to college. This is where they buy their feed already from their first ranch this is where they grew up. And so me being able to use that list, one, puts my ad in front of them. And then on Meta, we create lookalike audiences, which now duplicates that because I tell the algorithm to find people that are exactly like them. So that's been a huge advantage for us versus just posting an ad or making a reel and then pressing boost and hoping that it reaches the right people. I think brand awareness is important, but if the wrong people are aware of you, it does nothing for your business, especially nothing for your pocket. So
Agreed. Yes. I mean, it's quality of the follower, right? So you mentioned something that I think it's important to point out when you talk about like this feed store list in particular. So in the stadiums. So anytime we're doing that sort of ad spend on that type of a list, one of the things that separates us from some of the other companies that you'd asked me previous is they don't do that.
They don't.
I mean,
if they even know about it.
I guarantee you, yeah. I was about to say very few of them even know about it.
Right.
And even less implement it. It's expensive. It's meticulous. It takes time. And as we all know, in the marketing world, everything takes time, but people are not nearly as patient as they should be to allow it to work.
Right.
but in this example, so if someone's got a listing, let's say it's in Fredericksburg, and you've got a lot of natural visitors to the area. Well, we can focus those ads on those visitors who all want to live there, right? I mean, no one goes to Fredericksburg and doesn't say, man, I wish I had a house here in Fredericksburg, right?
Yeah.
Well, so if our ads can target those folks, well, we have a better chance that we're going to turn over the property. And I think that is something that is unique to us, and specifically, has been done by Digital Domino to great effect for us.
Using all what we call the creepy stuff, satellites and all the IP addresses we can pull, that's definitely leveled you up from another competitor. Marketing is one thing, but protecting your brand and your presence online is another. So talk to me about that challenge that we both faced together when you were hacked.
Yes. So I had my personal business page, my company, Texas Ranch Kings, on the same sign-in and password. So I guess somebody hacked my personal page, which then gave them access to the business page. And I mean, my heart sank, of course.
Yeah.
Because we had spent so much time and effort and, finances to get to where we were going to go, and to have it ripped from us, or what we thought was going to be ripped from us, was just brutal. So what was it, about 2-3 weeks?
It was a long time.
Maybe a month?
It was rough. It was super stressful. If it was 2 or 3 weeks, it felt like 2 or 3 months, just talking with Meta customer support every single day. Luckily, the hackers, I feel like the hackers knew what they were doing. The first thing they did was they kicked you out of the business portfolio, and then they kicked myself out. But we had just given one of your agents access to do something on their own. I don't remember what it was. They needed to have access to the page to do some type of marketing that they were doing. And luckily, that's how we were able to get back in.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a stressful time.
Very stressful. And I lost my personal page.
You did.
So I was not able to recover that. But thankfully for the business, we were. And I appreciate you, because you didn't get paid enough for that. It would have been easy for you to say good luck, and you didn't, and it meant the world to us. And honestly, really showed me that I picked not only the right company to work with, but the right person to work with.
Well, you're welcome. It is a passion project. I think for me, like I said, going back to, we started from the beginning, right? So I came in, and the design and the layout and the logo and the name and all the fun stuff was already picked out. But we hadn't started yet. So starting something from zero and growing it was definitely a part of my accomplishment. I didn't want to let that go. And it's just, hackers, if they could just find something better to do.
Right? If they spent as much time actually having a real job.
I know.
They'd be millionaires. Because, what they're doing is pretty incredible. But gosh, the amount of time they must spend to
if they would have put that into something else.
Yeah.
But how would you say the hack impacted your business?
It was mostly all behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I don't think our clientele realized y'all covered enough for us. We had enough content out and fresh.
That's true.
That to go a week or two that we weren't able to put up fresh content, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think too that there's something to be said about we're not a influencer. We're not producing content multiple times a day where people are expecting it. So we were able to float a few extra days to get back online.
Yeah.
And thankfully we were able to do that. Thanks to you.
That's a good point. I feel like a lot of people have this misconception about social media that I want to sell you this product and click here in my LTK or buy what I'm wearing. And but even just being recognized by other people in your industry from social media or from your ads, or people saying, hey, I want you list my ranch because I saw that other ranch that you were promoting. I think that kind of shows you that social media plays a big part.
Yes, for sure.
If you hadn't had professional help, how do you think you would have favored with the whole hacking situation?
Oh, the hacking situation. I would have been sunk. Yeah. Your understanding and your connections at Meta is what got us through that. No doubt. I mean, look, I'm the guy that has to reset his password all the time because I forget it. Zero chance I would have figured out how to navigate all that technical stuff.
You know, it was difficult for me too, even having worked at Meta, to be on the other end of the platform and dealing back and forth. I personally got my account. No, it wasn't hacked. I personally got my account locked and shut down because I had requested, because I'm jumping back and forth from different clients' pages all day, and I had requested too many codes, and it said, one day I got a little pop-up that said, you've reached your maximum limit of attempts. And I was like, what? And I was out for 13 hours or 19 hours or something, and I had to send Meta a page with my face and a code and
show them that you're not a bot.
It was so stressful. I was like, I have access to all of these pages. So yes, I've been locked out of my personal, which goes hand in hand with my professional account, and then working on yours, getting back in. So and then we've even had to work with clients who the back end of their pages were, handled by a previous employee who no longer works there, and regaining access. And so being able to work on something that's professionally made with the way it's supposed to, everybody has the right access. It's been really refreshing. Mm-hmm. So it's been 2 years since we started. We started at 0. We're almost at 25,000 followers on Facebook and almost at 2,000 followers on Instagram. Mm-hmm. I think that's amazing. We're not running random ads. All of our ads have been promoting specific properties, sticking within your budget, your monthly ad spend budget, promoting your Facebook, and recently we started promoting Instagram. Mm-hmm. How does that feel to go from 0 to over, close to 25, or no, over 25 combined Facebook and Instagram? Yeah, no,
it's outstanding, and it's exceeded my expectations. I mean, when we looked at other brokerages and where they were at, some of these places have been in business for 20 years. Yeah. They've been on Facebook since the inception of Facebook.
Right.
And we have more followers than they do. We've been open for 2 years.
And I feel like our followers, we go through the demographics all the time. They're real people. We know their age demographic, where they're at in Texas, where they're moving from, their interest. Mm-hmm. These aren't bot followers. So I think that definitely validates that. And the proof is in our ads, when we're running our ads and retargeting people that viewed a post 100 times or looked at a certain part of the website over and over again. That's definitely helped us.
Yeah. And, fortunately for me, I've had enough experience in this business to know some of the terminology and what expectations are and what the bar is expected. We've exceeded that every time. And that's because our demographic is so well defined.
Right.
And that's both, I would give us both kudos on that. We have narrowed down exactly who we need to focus our most of our ad dollars on, depending on the property. And, to have 25,000 people at your fingertips to put a property in front of who all have expressed interest in ranch property. Yeah. It's not a bad way to market.
That's not a bad way to start off.
Yeah.
If you had to sum up your experience with Digital Domino in one sentence, what would it be?
I'll sum it up in one word. Great. Oh. Y'all have been great. I mean that both professionally and personally, because not only do you care about the business, but you do care about your clients. I can tell, because when I talk to you about my experiences, not only do you listen, but you also share about what's going on with similar situations with other clients or whatnot. And that tells me I'm with the right people. And so it doesn't really matter what we're faced with regards to our marketing account and what troubles we may see in the future. If there's a hurdle in front of us, I know that we can get over it together, and you've done that multiple times. So great experience for sure.
What's next for Texas Ranch Kings? What big projects do you have?
Yeah, I don't know if we have big projects, but we do have some new content being produced next month.
Okay.
We're going to work with you guys to get those commercials made, and y'all just edit them beautifully. But we're going to grow. We'll probably have another agent or two on board before you know it.
You have your first female agent.
We do have our first female agent. So, there was a big question, how do we work this Kings thing?
Yeah.
And fortunately for her, she was like, hey, I like being a king as well. So
great answer.
So I was like, yeah, that'll work. That's the girl we needed.
That's the right one.
She's great. And she's out of Bandera. Her name's Becca Vizza, and she does a great job. She's a very sweet person, and we're lucky to have her. With regards to the future for Texas Ranch Kings, I just think we have lots of growth ahead of us. I think that 2025 is going to be a big year for ranch property again. And once everybody gets their sea legs back underneath them, we're going to be good to go. I think come summer, we'll be rolling again.
It's going to be a good summer. So if I want to buy a ranch, if I have a ranch, I want to sell it, how do I get a hold of you?
Well, probably the best way to do it is to visit our website, texasranchkings.com. That's texasranchkings.com. Or you can reach us at 432 Buy Dirt.
That's my favorite. It's the easiest one for me to remember. My favorite thing about probably like the whole marketing campaign, 432 Buy Dirt.
Yep. No, I'm happy to have that number. I'm glad that I was able to find it, and I even have a license plate that says it. So, folks.
Cue in the license plate picture right here.
I should go take a picture of it and send it to you. You can stick it in. In reference to our website, and we were just speaking about it, texasranchkings.com, we have an intake form for both buyers and sellers. It takes maybe 3 to 4 minutes to fill it out. But it'll ask a lot of questions that'll help us be better prepared when we have our first conversation. I don't care if you're wanting to buy 3 acres or 3,000. I don't care if you want to spend 300,000 or 3 million. We want all the business. Mm-hmm. We treat everybody the same, and we welcome first-time buyers as well. So visit us on the website and fill that out. We'd love to talk to you and have a relationship built for when you're ready to purchase property.
I just want to thank you, Mathew, so much for coming and talking to me about Texas Ranch Kings Realty and sharing your experience with Digital Domino and us having all of these memories we've built together since we've launched this business. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I've enjoyed it, and thank you for having me on.
And if you are looking to have some help with your digital marketing, your social media, your organic posting or digital ads, give us a call. Visit us online at digitaldominomarketing.com. We did it! Yay!
Donnie, you're going to make me look good.
Donnie's going to make us both look good.